Live from Wayne Prophet Court, you're watching women's college basketball on LHSN. The Lynchburg Hornets play host to the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. Both teams looking to end losing streaks. Virginia Wesleyan's dropped 5 in a row for Lynchburg. It's 3 consecutive losses. Both teams looking to turn their season around tonight. It's going to be an exciting matchup between these two teams. TJ Wingert here to take you through all the action. I appreciate you spending some time with us here on your Tuesday evening. We're going to get ready to show you some of the stats and figures coming into this contest. And one note, last scoring offense in the conference for Virginia Wesleyan. Obviously, that total is going to have to raise a ton tonight. Another big battle. Who wins the advantage on the glass? Currently a -10 rebound margin for Virginia Wesleyan. And Lynchburg's had that area and statistical strength really diminish, and now 9th in the ODAC in rebound margin. Still at a positive mark at 1.7 advantage over opponents throughout the season. So whoever wins the glass going to be a big battle tonight. But now we'll go ahead and show you the rest of those stats previewing tonight's contest. And it's going to be a big one for both sides' defense, too, especially defending the three-point lines. You see those numbers. Neither team has really shot it all that well. And if that trend breaks tonight and one team gets hot from beyond the arc, look for a big night out of both teams' offense as you see the 54.5 points per game. Good for last in the ODAC for Virginia Wesleyan. Again, that number's going to have to come up a lot tonight. Go ahead and show you some of the players to watch in this contest, starting with the Marlins. Number 2, Adasia Williams has been on a tear of late. 6 consecutive games reaching double figures, and then 3 consecutive games scoring exactly 16. She has been a big boost to the offense down the stretch for the Marlins. And on the other side, Olivia Harris gets her first collegiate start tonight, and she also has been red hot. The freshman sensation has scored double digits in 5 consecutive games. Had a bit of a tough day shooting the basketball against Washington Lee. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the broadcast. And stepping in as a head coach tonight is Christine Mabry. You will not see third-year head coach Liz Hootie tonight. Obviously still living in the world of COVID. Don't want to speculate, but this could be a potential situation where Mabry gets a taste of that head coaching job inside the ODAC. And then Allison Nichols, still in her first year with Lynchburg. On the other side, looking to improve to 6-1 with a win tonight at home on Wayne Prophet Court. Well, we've reached the national anthem, so we're going to take a quick pause and come back with starters as well as tip-off between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan. All that and more coming to you on LHSN.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the Athletic Training Laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. It's time to introduce the starting lineups for both sides as the starters are introduced here on the hardwood at Wayne Prophet Court. We'll start with the visiting Marlins. It's Adasia Williams, Bianca Atkinson, Jessica Jennings, Celeste Rucker, well, it's Lena Clements. Some key absences from the potential rotation tonight for Virginia Wesleyan. No Logan Carter, no Gabby Clay, and no Olivia Winslow for tonight's contest. If you're looking at scoring output alongside Adasia Williams, the team's leading scorer, actually Jessica Jennings, 12.3 points per game. And third in the conference in minutes played. You'll hear me call her name a whole lot tonight. On the other side, the starting five for Lynchburg has Meredith Vetter with Kate Kolb, Lizzie Davis, Erin Green, and our player to watch, Olivia Harris. So again, the freshman making her first start of the season. And of course, when you talk about this Lynchburg squad, Lizzie Davis and Erin Green immediately spark a conversation. A pair of seniors have been stellar this year. Davis, first in the conference in assists per game, third in the country in that mark at 6.5 dimes per game. Also 7th in the ODAC, and free throws attempted 5th. And free throws made. So look for Davis to make an impact from the free throw line. And then for Erin Green, first in the ODAC in blocks per game, 2.8 per contest. That's good for 18th in the country. And as the Hornets are introduced on Wayne Profit Court, go ahead and give you an idea of what the most recent contest for both teams had in store. For Virginia Wesleyan, most recently, it was a loss against Randolph, 65-47 loss at the hands of the Wildcats. Prior to that was a loss at Eastern Mennonite. Before that, loss at home to Washington Lee by 18. And speaking of the Generals, that's who handed Lynchburg their 6th loss of the season this past Saturday in Lexington, Virginia. Final score 69-56, and the Generals did a really good job defensively containing what is a potent and explosive Lynchburg offense, and they held the Hornets to shoot under 30% from the floor. Meanwhile, Washington Elite had all 5 of their starters reach double figures, so clinical game from Washington Elite, and it's a 3-game losing streak all told for the Hornets. They dropped 2 games in Roanoke, Virginia, the hands of the number 5 team in the country, CNU, and then Elizabethtown, another really solid Division III opponent, and maybe one of the best teams that Lynchburg will see all season long. And then, of course, the loss to Washington Lee this past Saturday. Obviously, both teams have had their schedule changed around a fair amount due to COVID-19 still playing a factor in the world of sports, but now players are on the court, and we can have college basketball return to Lynchburg. It's been quite a while since we had a home broadcast here on LHSN, December 13th to be precise. This women's basketball team knocked off Meredith, take down the Avenging Angels, and now the Hornets on the court, accompanied by the Marlins. Center and midcourt, it's Celeste Rucker and Erin Green. Tip is up, and the Hornets garner the opening possession. Meredith Vetter backs it out to Kate Kolb. Vetter's made 3 consecutive starts, averaging 9 points per contest over the last 3 games. Shot clock's at 6. Davis takes a screen right. Cross-court pass. Vetter drives in. Looks like the shot was tipped. Ultimately picked up by Jessica Jennings, who will be the maestro orchestrating the Virginia Wesleyan offense. This is Bianca Atkinson dishing it back to Jennings. Kick to the corner. Lena Clements lets it fly, knocks it down. Marlins strike first and lead 3-0. Lynchburg, a team that wants to play quick, facing the 2-3 zone. And Olivia Harris finds Lizzie Davis, who steps into the teeth of that 2-3 and knocks down the mid-range jumper to put the Hornets on the board. And it's a predominantly zone defense on the other side, but here on this possession, some man-to-man broken out by head coach Allison Nichols. Long 2, air ball comes from Adasia Williams on her first shot attempt on the evening. Vetter corralled the miss, finds Kate Kolb, swings over to Lizzie Davis. Davis returns the favor. Vetter lost it, dives towards the near sideline. It's going to be a foul on the play going against Jessica Jennings, and we'll have to see if Meredith Vetter able to get back up, holding her head. Hate to see that, especially so early on in the contest. You can see the tail end of that play. Both Jennings and Vetter trying to go hard for the loose ball on the near sideline. We all love sports. Sometimes these unfortunate occurrences do come to arise. And, of course, it's obviously really scary once you get into head territory, potential injuries. 3-2 score, 8:21 to go in the first quarter. As Coach Allison Nichols and the athletic trainer check on Vetter, who's back to her feet. It's a nice round of applause from those in attendance inside Turner Gymnasium. Solid crowd on hand for the first home game of 2022 for Lynchburg. Vetter will step to the side of the Lynchburg bench and work with the athletic trainers. Hopefully we see Meredith Vetter back in this contest. You will not see Brooke Vetter or Jada Chambers or Sammy Sever tonight for the Hornets. Inbound goes to Kate Kolb. Left-handed hook off the glass and through. Kolb puts Lynchburg ahead 4-3. Fifth consecutive start for Kate Kolb. She scored in double figures in 3 of the 4 prior starts. Driving from the corner, Rucker's pass tipped but gathered by Williams. Another three-point shot from Clements. She knocked down the first, this time air ball, followed up by an offensive rebound and a putback 2 for Adasia Williams. Marlins out in front by 1. Nice find from Lizzie Davis. Aaron Green converts. And you can see the vision that Lizzie Davis plays with. Big part of why she has those 6.5 assists per contest. Three-point heave off the front of the iron coming from Jennings. Davis lofts it up towards Green, taken away by Clements. The sophomore from Emporia, Virginia, the last to touch it, so it'll stay with Lynchburg. 7:18 to go in the opening quarter. The Marlins preseason pick to finish 8th in the ODAC poll, Lynchburg. The preseason poll pick to finish 5th. Give the Hornets 2 more. Stretching the lead to a full one possession advantage, 8-5. That basket coming from Taylor Gant. And with no Sammy Sever, the role for players like Olivia Harris and Taylor Gant do grow. That's why you see Harris in the starting lineup tonight. Previously, it's been Brooke Vetter, with her down on top of Sever being out since the Meredith contest. Harris thrusted into the starting 5, and Gant's actually coming off a pretty solid shooting performance. 2 for 3 from beyond the arc against Washington Lee on Saturday. First time all year that Gant has had multiple made three-point shots in one game all season long. Harris tries to thread the needle to Kolb, and it's tipped out of play. Stays with the Hornets. 6:45 to go in the first quarter. Davis again tries to get it into Green, and Green in so many different ways presents defensive concerns for opposing teams. You see it there. Not only is she 6'3", long arms, but she runs well down the court, makes her a force to be reckoned with in transition. But because of her long wingspan, even just throwing the basketball in her direction on inbounds plays as Kolb sends it off the glass and through for 2 more, doubling up the Marlins 10-5, Lynchburg in front. But because anytime you just throw it into a window where Aaron Green's close to, it's hard to get to the basketball before her because of her arms and even just basketball IQ, right? Putting yourself in the right position. That's what leads to fouls as she's receiving passes or even fouls away from the ball. Inbound for the Marlins, underneath the basket. Atkinson with the honors. See the replay of the last made shot for Lynchburg. Been a balanced scoring effort so far. The inbound goes to Jennings, drives with the left. Acrobatic attempt, layup won't go. Davis finds Harris open for 3, indeed. And Harris, maybe the most consistent three-point shooter so far this season for Lynchburg, 37.5% coming into the contest, and the 3-ball invokes a timeout called by head coach Christine Mabry, and that'll be stretched into a media timeout. So we will step aside and come back with more between the Hornets and the Marlins on LHSN. It's an early 8-point lead for Lynchburg. Just under 6 minutes left in the opening quarter of action. Both teams looking to snap losing streaks. The Marlins have dropped 5 in a row. Lynchburg lost 3 in a row against 3 of the best opponents they have on their schedule. Chance to rebound tonight against Virginia Wesleyan. Both teams also looking to climb the ODAC standings. Currently the Marlins at 0-8 in conference play, last in those conference standings. On the other side, Lynchburg tied for 7th. And this game is the only being played inside the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. Loose ball couldn't be gathered by Clay. Instead, Atkinson picks it up, finds Jennings, wants to take the 3, but first whistle on the play, and possibly an inadvertent whistle. No foul called. And instead of inbound just in front of the Lynchburg bench. After seeing some man-to-man earlier on in this contest, the Hornets switch it up to the 2-3 zone that we've seen primarily this year. Marlins find the soft spot on the near side wing, and it's Atkinson knocking down the 3-ball, bringing it back to a 5-point differential. Clay takes the screen, gets it down low. Kolb already with 4. Give her 2 more. She's got a Lynchburg best 6 points on the night. And you can see Kolb was feeling comfortable early on. All 6 points seemingly off that same move. Gets outside the restricted circle. Turn, left-handed hook. Flush it home. Kolb gets the rebound after the miss. Davis, no-look pass. Essentially looking off a safety for a football comparison. Unfortunately, though, Aaron Green couldn't finish the bunny. Pass to the paint from Nate Collier. Drives in, shot denied. And with Kolb and Green both on the floor, it presents a daunting challenge trying to attack the restricted circle. Virginia Wesleyan gets a favor from Lynchburg in transition as Clay called for the travel. Meredith Vetter back into the game, and Sarah Johnson checks in for the first time tonight. Johnson had started every game prior to getting injured. Came off the bench against Washington Lee, does so again tonight. Played 22 minutes against the Generals, had 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting from the floor. But now, down Brooke Vetter, but when it comes to the bigs that Lynchburg possesses, it's getting near full strength with Green, Johnson, and Kolb able to play all together. Hopefully you get Brooke Vetter back, and then you're really at full strength. Made 3 came from Jada Norman, first time calling her name tonight. Freshman from Chesterfield, Virginia. Tipped pass, gets through to Davis. Tries to feed Johnson. Whistle on the play, it'll go against the Marlins. Reset the shot clock from 10 to 20. Gant checks in for Clay. Davis had Sarah Johnson open for a moment underneath the basket. Instead, sends it out to the top of the arc, and Vetter is fouled by Collier. All-time series history between the two teams goes advantage Virginia Wesleyan with a record all-time 47-9 against Lynchburg and 20-7 here at Wayne Prophet Court. It's really impressive, and it speaks to the tradition that goes way back for the Marlins. And speaking of that, there was a stretch between 2000 and 2016 where Virginia Wesleyan won 31 consecutive meetings between these two teams. Then after that, it's been pretty much evenly split. The Marlins have taken the last 2, though. Inbound, Johnson, basket, and the foul on top. Sarah Johnson now steps to the free throw line, the junior from Mechanicsville, Virginia. 56.3% free throw shooter. Nice find from Davis. She sees Johnson, gets a step on her defender, and from that close, it's hard to defend. And Johnson's near automatic from inside this restricted circle. 3-point attempt, count it. Nate Collier shooting 50% from beyond the arc before today. Gets her first made 3-ball on the evening. It's a 4-out, 1-in offensive look for Lynchburg. Davis gets past the first defender, stripped on her way up to the basket, gets the turnover, then flings it back to Adasia Williams. The Marlins bring it across half court. Collier works the baseline, floater strong, rebound Johnson, which brings the Lynchburg men's basketball team to their feet in attendance for this matchup between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan. Davis finds an open Johnson, misses from the free throw line, put back 2 for Meredith Vetter though. Lynchburg ahead, 20-14. Collier gets past Kolb, off the glass with the left hand. In the early goings, you can see on display the division that Lizzie Davis plays with. It hasn't always resulted in made shots, but open looks. That's all you can ask for your point guard. Find your teammates with space. And so far, that's been the case for the Hornets. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gant thought about the 3. Instead, dumps it off for Johnson. Shot fake. Gets the defender in the air and knocks it down on the far side, low post. Johnson with 5 points on the night now, trailing just Kolb. Collier open for 3. Clunks it off the backboard on the rim. Here comes Lynchburg running in transition, where they might be their best offensively. Davis had some contact in the play, won't get the whistle. Now the whistle's blown, but it goes against Kolb, trying to slow down Amani Felton. First to go against the Hornets, already 5 fouls to go against the Marlins. So if you hear a whistle and it goes against Virginia Wesleyan, look to the free throw line, for which Hornet will get the 2 from the bonus. Collier checks out. Get some advice from acting head coach tonight, Christine Mabry. You missed the open. Mabry filling in for Lizzie Hootie tonight. Felton to the elbow. No good. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Harris takes the screen, set by Johnson. Gant back to Vetter. Shot clock at 8. Vetter swings to Gant for 3 off the side of the iron. Offensive rebound, bounces to the far side corner, and Johnson's there to pick it up and gives Lynchburg the extra possession. Hornets don't go 2 for 1. And instead, it's turned over by Lynchburg. Vetter's pass, a little too tall for Gant. Clock stops with 23 seconds on the clock. And all signs point to Virginia Wesleyan having the final possession of the first quarter. Jennings in no rush. This will be the final possession of the first 10 minutes. Jennings held scoreless to this point. She's the Marlins' leading scorer. Deep 3. Tries to go off the backboard. Another miss from beyond the arc for Virginia Wesleyan. And that is how the first quarter will come to a close. Hornets ahead by 6 after the first set of 10. We'll step aside and come back with the second quarter between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan on LHSN.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg.
We'll go back for the second quarter between the Hornets and the Marlins. First quarter goes the advantage, Lynchburg. The opening possession, Virginia Wesleyan, comes to an early close. Felton called for the travel, freshman from Virginia Beach. The story of this game so far, points in the paint. Lynchburg, 14-2 advantage. They've been able to generate some easy offense down low, working underneath the basket, and it's paid dividends. 6 points in the early goings for Kate Kolb and 5 for Sarah Johnson. Air ball on the three-point shot. Vetter kept it in, but sent it right to Lena Clements. Then lost control, picked up by Vetter. The senior sends it off the glass with the right hand. Vetter's played at least 32 minutes in each of the last 2 games, and if you knock it down to 27 minutes, she's done that in each of her 3 consecutive starts, make it 4 in a row tonight. Jennings drives, kicks it out. 3-point attempt, well short. Bianca Atkinson takes a second look back to the iron. Double take, maybe thought that shot was more online. Maybe in disbelief at the air ball. Whatever the case, just under 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Hornets take back over. Made basket here, stretches the advantage into double figures. Kolb seals off her defender and is now up to 8. In the first 3 made shots, it was Kolb working in the middle of the painted area, then going spin move left hook. This time just worked herself in a great position. Nice bounce pass feed from Harris, who gets the cross court pass from Davis, and left-handed layup makes it a 12-point Lynchburg lead. Hornets offense on a roll now. And you know that has to feel good for Lynchburg. And head coach Allison Nichols, after seeing her team held under 30% shooting from the floor on Saturday against Washington Elite, there's a travel call, another turnover to go against Virginia Wesleyan. Nate Collier's going to check back in, or Nat Collier, I beg your pardon, coming on for Imani Felton. To continue my point, after a really frustrating offensive performance against Washington and Lee, this has to feel good. Right now, Lynchburg is a team shooting almost 62% from the floor. Only 1 of 4 from beyond the arc, still lagging in that area. But who needs 3-point shooting when you can get inside the painted area, feed the bigs, and continuously get layup after layup? Lizzie Davis steps to the free throw line, first time tonight. These will be attempts 2 and 3 on the night for Lynchburg as a team. Davis knocks down the first, and if you missed me talk about it in the open, Davis 7th in the conference and free throws attempted, 59 and 5th, and free throws made with 43. So get accustomed to seeing that exact result. Davis getting the line and knocking him down. She's up to 4 tonight. Norman gets to Jennings, runner, falls through, back to a 10-point game. Excuse me, make it 12-point. Math can be hard. Harris takes the screen, step back, touches the iron twice, tipped out of play. And they're actually going to call over the back against Meredith Vetter. First foul to go against Vetter and the Hornets here in the second quarter. 7:23 to go until we reach halftime. Kick to the corner. Jennings drives. Shot denied. Aaron Green has a block in every game but one this year. And one exception was against CNU on December 29th. Leads the ODAC. 2.8 swats per game. It's her first tonight. Inbound to Norman. Celeste Rucker sends it to the free throw line. Nifty pass. Nate Collier clearly had her mind made up, and it's a nice backdoor cut from Norman. Had her shot sent out of play. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Clements lines up the three. Off back iron and through. Clements was a 20% three-point shooter coming in tonight. She's got 2 3 balls to go already. Cole to Davis, pirouette along the baseline. One more pass, Vetter couldn't handle it. Virginia Wesleyan in transition. Jennings fouled on the way up. Stops the clock with 6:29 left in the first half. The Virginia Wesleyan team has had a hard start to the season. Obviously, 3-12 record, 0-8 in conference play, and near the bottom of the ODAC in a number of statistical categories. But where they have been pretty good is getting the free throw line. This becomes attempt 320 on the season. Good for first inside the ODAC. The problem with that, they're 11th in the conference. That's second to last in free throw percentage, less than 61%. The crowd tries to alter the concentration of Jessica Jennings. Instead, she goes 2 for 2. And the junior from Suffolk, Virginia, up to 4 points on the night. Again, solid crowd on hand. Members of the men's lacrosse team, preseason number 5 in the country. Excited to see that team in action. And also the men's basketball team here to spectate. They have a big game on Thursday against Roanoke. Erin Green getting into the mix, knocks down the trifecta. Her 6th made 3-ball this year. And if you have Green and company adding some floor spacing ability, consistency to this offense, they run that 4-out, 1-in set, it can be dangerous. You can tell the crowd is certainly into it tonight. Jennings, spin move, kiss off the glass. It's a track meet. Davis to Green, fouled from behind by Collier. Well, between the energy of those watching and the up-tempo pace of this game, it has certainly made for a fun game so far. Hornets ahead by 10. Here's another look at the Harris layup in transition. That points in the paint stat I brought up to open the second. It's now 22-6, Hornets in front of the Marlins. Green readies the line. Her first 2 attempts tonight, knocks down the first. She's up to 6 points, trailing Kate Cole with 8 and Olivia Harris with 7. And the second rattles through. 37-25, your score. Jennings feeling good, knocking down the 3-point shot from the near side wing. If Jennings starts to heat up, don't count out Virginia Wesleyan. It's back to a 9-point differential. Jennings is up to 6 on the night. Tipped out of play, it stays with Lynchburg. It's Clements and Jennings at the top of the scoring total. That 3-point shot actually put Jennings up to 9. And Clements just behind her at 6. Davis gets it into Johnson. She absorbs the contact, and Johnson will step to the free throw line for attempts 2 and 3 on her night. One more look, and we've seen this over and over tonight. Davis is the inbounder. She'll send it in and around the restricted circle nearly every time, and then as the last case situation, she'll loft it back out to the top of the 3-point line. More often than not, Lynchburg all year long has tried to feed those bigs on those inbound sets. Johnson goes 2 for 2, lead back up to 11. Johnson now even with Green with 7 points tonight. Davis tips the pass, goes out of play. That'll stop the clock with 4:55 to go in the second quarter, and it brings us to a media timeout. Lynchburg up 39-28 over Virginia Wesleyan. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between the Marlins and the Hornets on LHSN.
My name is Joshua Carr. I am a senior. I am a theater major as well as a history minor. I live in 5th Street, the historic black neighborhood. The money came in, transfer, scholarship, all that. I appreciate that greatly. I'm smart too. So they gave it like, you smart, here, here, here. You know what I'm saying? You come here to do a job. I came here to do a job. A student's job is to get that degree and make something of ourselves. I love the diversity here. I love the different interests of people here. I can teach somebody that doesn't know what I know, and that person can teach me something that I don't know that they know. So that's what I love about my school. They respect that and they allow us to showcase and voice our expressions. That's what you get here. You get diversity, you get different people with different knowledge coming together, sharing information and helping each other out. That's what I love. That's why I say people. I love the people here.
Just under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. You're watching Virginia Wesleyan and University of Lynchburg on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. TJ Wingert here, take you through all the action tonight. Virginia Wesleyan has the possession coming out of the media timeout. Wayward pass, picked up by Harris. Lynchburg's been great in transition all night long. Here the Hornets slow the tempo, and Davis sets up the offense in the half court. Fast break points, 10-5 advantage for the Hornets. Harris going to be called for the travel. That's in an area where Lynchburg is still looking to improve, statistically speaking at least. Come the day averaging 20.1 turnovers per game. Travel against Harris, just the 4th night. So certainly on a improved pace. Tarina Dandridge, first time calling her name tonight, has her pass tipped up. Davis works to her right, attacks the cup. Shot no good, offensive board Vetter. Aaron Green to Davis, and the pass off the mark for Johnson. Felton couldn't fully maintain her dribble in transition, and Coach Nichols tells Lizzie Davis to slow down the pace. That has been a track meet, and a lot of times almost feels like pickup basketball with two teams immediately trying to work their way down the court, especially after made shots. You can see Lynchburg just trying to get it into the Marlins half the court as quick as possible. Shot from Harris, no good. Jennings leads the Marlins in scoring with 9. Kick to the corner. Rucker, long 2. Leaves it just a touch short. Rebound for Johnson. Lynchburg scoring 65.4 points per game, good for 6th in the ODAC. It's a team that when they play their brand of basketball, it is up-tempo. And it's probably scoring more than 65.4 points per game. Sometimes you go against tough defensive opponents, and sometimes you have to change the game plan. Here's another look at foul going against the Marlins, sending Aaron Green to the free throw line. Examples of those defensive games you had to pivot your game plan, of course, this Saturday against Washington Lee, but earlier this year in a win against Randolph. Lynchburg really buckled down on the defensive side and won that game, with Randolph having more than twice as many turnovers compared to field goals made. 8 made baskets, 17 turnovers in that game. Not often you get to say that. Felton wide open. Stops, pops, lets it drop right in front of Aaron Green. Offensive foul goes against the aforementioned Green. And a sub comes on for Lynchburg. Kate Kolb in for Sarah Johnson. 2:55 to go in the first half. 41-30. Lynchburg still out in front. Lots of motion in this set for Virginia Wesleyan, but ultimately it's Jennings kicking it back out. Atkinson looking for space. And now Jennings tries to Euro towards the basket. foul on the play. Jennings lobbying that it was on the way up. Was acting the shooting motion, but our officiating crew saw it otherwise. Foul goes against Davis, her first tonight. Atkinson will inbound from underneath the hoop. Shot clock at 10. Jennings, couple of shot fakes. Barely able to find separation against Meredith Fetter. Deficit down to 9. Harris gets it back, plus the foul. Olivia Harris on shots inside the three-point line on Saturday went 1 for 8. She's fared much better this evening. Tough finish at the cup on top of what she does as a shooter from beyond the arc. If you're a Lynchburg fan, you have to be happy with the development you're seeing this freshman and the player she's growing into before your eyes. Two minutes to go in the first half. Jennings lets it go. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Jennings has had a few moments tonight where she has been cold-blooded after knocking down that shot. Looks towards the Lynchburg men's basketball team, who have been rowdy. There's a travel on the other end to go against Lynchburg. Taylor Gant subs in. Aaron Green gets a breather just before halftime. And Jennings is actually going to check out now. Nat Collier subs in. Clements with a nice find underneath the basket. Atkinson out to Felton. Drive results in a missed layup and a rebound for Meredith Vetter. Unselfish play, Vetter to Harris. Second made three tonight for Olivia Harris. She's got a Hornet best 13. All coming in the first half of her first ever collegiate start. Collier backs down Gantz. Can't finish. Davis loses Collier. Steps up. Knocks down the open jumper. She's got 6. About a 8-second differential between shot and game clock. Clements crosses left to right. Pass tipped by Davis. Keeps it in just in front of the Hornets bench. Shot clock turns off. 12 seconds to go in the first half. Hornets up by 14, looking to stretch it out before the buzzer sounds. Davis drives right. Harris for 3. Misses strong off the back iron, and that'll bring it close to the first set of 20 between the Hornets and the Marlins. An exciting first half between these two teams. We'll take a pause, come back, and recap you on some of the stats and measurements and metrics of the first half. You're watching Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg on LHSN.
Be ready for anything, okay?
Come on, let's go together. Together, let's go. Come on. Let's go, keep going.
There is the best to it. Straight?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Good one.
All right, guys, you see the meat grinder down here?
Stay in the boat, let's go. camera. Oh, what you think of that? Woo!
Get small classes, nationally recognized mentoring and advising, and a community that has your back every step of the way at the University of Lynchburg.
My name is Joshua Carr. I am a senior. I am a theater major as well as a history minor. I live in 5th Street, the historic black neighborhood. The money came in, transfer, scholarship, all that. I appreciate that greatly. I'm smart too. So they gave it like, you smart, here, here, here. You know what I'm saying? You come here to do a job. I came here to do a job. A student's job is to get that degree and make something of ourselves. I love the diversity here. I love the different interests of people here. I can teach somebody that doesn't know what I know, and that person can teach me something that I don't know that they know. So that's what I love about my school. They respect that and they allow us to showcase and voice our expressions. That's what you get here. You get diversity, you get different people with different knowledge coming together, sharing information and helping each other out. That's what I love. That's why I say people. I love the people here.
Halftime at Wayne Prophet Court on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Hornets lead Virginia Wesleyan 49-35 at the break. You're watching these two teams duke it out on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. And it's TJ Wingert here with you to take you through all the action. Thank you, everybody, for spending some time with us on your Tuesday evening. Here are some of the stats from the first half of play from a team perspective. And field goal percentage, big advantage there for Lynchburg. And also three-point percentage actually going the other way for Virginia Wesleyan. 7 of 15, 46.7% from beyond the arc. Lynchburg 3 of 9. Not a bad clip whatsoever, but shooting almost 60% from the floor. That'll win you a whole lot of basketball games. And in the open, we talked about the rebounding advantage being a big story in this game, and so far so good for Lynchburg. And they even have the advantage in regards to offensive rebounds, 5-4. And then Lynchburg's been able to play pretty clean brand of basketball, only 7 turnovers to just the 9 for Virginia Wesleyan. And it's pretty even in points off of those turnovers, 8 for Lynchburg, 7 for the Marlins. Some of the other team stats that immediately jump off the page, second chance points is pretty much even, just as the offensive rebounds for Virginia Wesleyan. Offensive rebounds that is resulting in 8 second chance points. And it's 5 offensive rebounds for Lynchburg, turning into 6 second chance points. But where the story has been in 2 statistical areas, and I've already mentioned it on the broadcast, points to the paint. Hornets 26-8 edge in that category. And then fast break points, only 5 for the Marlins, 13 so far for Lynchburg. And those are some of the areas where the Hornets have been able to rack up an edge and nearly put up 50 in the first half. Keep in mind, this past Saturday against Washington Lee, they had 56 for the entire game. Not far off from that in 20 minutes tonight against the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. Been a really impressive showing for both teams. And really, when we talk about some of the individual stats, Virginia Wesleyan gotten a lot of work out of Jessica Jennings so far tonight. She has done a ton trying to keep the Marlins in this one against a red-hot showing Lynchburg Hornets offense. We'll take a pause, come back, show you some highlights, and talk about some of those individual stats before we get to the second half of play. So don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg on LHSN.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what, like they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It brings us all together as one.
Halftime in Lynchburg, Virginia. Hornets ahead by 14 over the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. Both teams looking to end losing streaks. Virginia Wesleyan's dropped 5 in a row. Lynchburg lost 3 consecutive. Hornets in a good spot to end that streak. Marlins have some work cut out for them. We'll show you some of the highlights from the first 20 minutes of action tonight, and I'll run through some of the individual numbers so far. Highest score tonight comes in the form of Jessica Jennings. 14 points so far tonight for the junior guard from Suffolk, Virginia. Done so very efficiently as well. 5 of 9 from the floor, 2 for 4 from beyond the arc, and she has done all she can in a lot of ways to keep Virginia Wesleyan around down the stretch, especially in the second half when it felt like the Hornets were getting a lot of momentum and going to start pushing the lead. It was Jennings with some big three-point shots to calm the crowd and keep the Marlins alive. On the other side for Lynchburg, highest score is Olivia Harris with 13 so far tonight, 5 of 9 shooting from the floor as well, and 2 for 6 from beyond the arc. Some other big numbers that jump out off the page. Lena Clements knocked down a couple three-point shots. Floor stretching big has provided some offense, but also 4 turnovers. So keep your eye on that as the game goes on. And also want to highlight Lizzie Davis. So far 6 points as well as 6 assists. Only 1 rebound. So likely not in the spot to be triple-double watch, but certainly double-double territory for Lizzie Davis with those 6 points and 6 assists so far tonight. Best rebounder for the Hornets is Meredith Vedder, and top Marlin in that category is also Jessica Jennings with 3 so far. And if you're a big fan of plus-minus, leading the way for Lynchburg is actually Taylor Gant, followed then by Olivia Harris, plus 18, plus 15 respectively. And on the other side, top plus-minus score so far is Jada Norman with 1 for Virginia Wesleyan. Everyone else is in negative territory, and obviously find yourself down by 14. That'll happen pretty quickly when you take into account how plus-minus really works. But those are some of the individual numbers from the first half of action. We're going to take one more pause. We'll come back, talk about adjustments both teams can make before we get into the second half. Then we'll bring you the second half of action between the Marlins and the Hornets on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay.
Okay.
We're good.
Sweet. See you later.
Getting ready for the second half between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan here on LHSN. Final seconds of halftime tick away, so let's talk about adjustments for both sides, starting with the Marlins of Virginia Wesleyan University. And to me, it's been a tough going offensively outside of Jessica Jennings, who leads the team and the game in general in scoring with 14 so far. And it's tough to score inside the paint, and that's been one of the big disparities so far in this game. 26-8 points, and the paint advantage goes the way of the Hornets. So if I was Virginia Wesleyan, an acting head coach tonight, Christine Mabry, I'd pivot in the exact opposite direction. I'd go 5 wide. Lena Clements has shown that she can provide size as well as three-point shooting, and I'd let Celeste Rucker be your stretch 4. And Jessica Jennings, Bianca Atkinson, Deja Williams maybe in the mix, and some other floor spacers and three-point shooters on the court, and try to win this game from beyond the arc. You've shot the ball well from the perimeter, play to that strength, and force those bigs out of the painted area for Lynchburg, and then maybe you get some more driving lanes in turn. For Lynchburg, let's see more of the same from the first half. If you're a Hornets fan, you had been ecstatic with the play of the first 20 minutes. Kept the basketball in your possession, only 7 turnovers through those 20 minutes. And you got the ball down low, let the bigs work, and it opened up shots from the perimeter. A couple made threes for Olivia Harris, as well as another one coming from Taylor Gantz. So those are some of my thoughts. Obviously, we'll see what the story tells. Now that we're into the second half, Williams drives in, denied by Kolb. To my point, hard to score in the painted area against this Lynchburg team. Lofted downfield, pass a little short, taken away by Bianca Atkinson. And travel called, stops the clock with 9:16 to go in the third. Lynchburg has taken both quarters so far, won the first 22-16, then the second 27-19. All good for a now 16-point lead, as they're the only team to reach the scoring column through just under a minute worth of play in the third quarter. The Hornets have been so efficient tonight, and that's been a big part of what's made this look so pretty. Almost 60% shooting from the floor. Harris off the screen misses this three-point attempt. Jennings the last to touch it, so it's going to stay with the Hornets. And also Lynchburg playing to another strength. 10 for 10 from the free throw line. And it almost goes unnoticed because of how well they played in every other category. Davis inbound to Green. Well contested from behind by Clements. Jennings works to her left, finds Rucker. Up and under, misses it all. Lands it in the hands of Davis, flinging it forward. Harris does the same, off the glass and in. Lynchburg up by 18, and Harris continues to steal the show tonight. 15 points, new game high. Pass to the corner, Rucker for 3, touches the rim twice, shot no good. Rebound, Meredith Vetter. Fourth rebound tonight for Vetter. Ties her Kate Kolb and Sarah Johnson for the most. And speaking of Kolb, she gets 2 more to her total. And she becomes the third player for Lynchburg to reach double figures. Harris with 15, Green with 11, and Kolb with 10. And the made basket sends us to immediate timeout. We'll step aside and come back with more. Hornets up by 20 on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. I 100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
Welcome back to Wayne Profit Court. Atkinson swings it over to Rucker, and the Marlins set up in the half-court set. Give and go between Williams and Jennings. Jennings attacks the basket, gets the basket and the foul. Jessica Jennings carrying the load on the offensive side, a 69.8% free throw shooter. This will be her third attempt from the line. She's 2 for 2 so far tonight. When you're feeling good, the confidence is exuberant. And there Jennings just attacked Vetter, had a step on her defender and made it count. Didn't knock down the free throw though, so it stays an 18-point lead for Lynchburg. On the other end, Vetter gets to Kolb, finds Davis. Heat-seeking missile of a pass to Vetter. Olivia Harris takes the shot, 3 won't go. Offensive board, Aaron Green. Kate Cobles in the mix. Harris drives in. Misses short. Offensive rebound. Put-back opportunity. Won't fall for Aaron Green. Ball still alive on the floor. Give me a jump ball and let these players catch their breath. 7:23 to go in the third. Alternating possession. We'll have Virginia Wesleyan take over. No shortage of chances there for Lynchburg. Unable to break through. One of the few times we've been able to say that so far tonight. Lynchburg's pretty much had anything and everything they've wanted so far, other than maybe three-point shooting so far, 3 of 11. Harris 2 for 8 from beyond the arc. And tonight's almost played as the reciprocal of Harris's stat line from Saturday against Washington and Lee. Harris reached double figures, had 12 points, 4 of 16 shooting from the floor, but 3 of 8 from beyond the arc. So that makes, if you're good at math, 1 of 8 from inside the arc. And today, pretty much, as I said, played as the opposite, 2 of 8 from beyond the arc. That makes her 4 for 5 from inside the perimeter. Still a 2-3 zone defense as we're now into the second half for Virginia Wesleyan. Vetter lets the three-point shot fly. This is off the side of the rim. Over the back called against Kate Kolb. She's confused by the call. Lynchburg will have a sub check in. Sarah Johnson will check in for Kolb. Here you see Johnson on the other end of the court. Was a regular in the starting lineup, and especially with her coming back on Saturday against Washington and Lee. Now with the absence of Brooke Vetter, trade one game one starter for another. And again, hopefully Lynchburg's able to get fully healthy once Vetter is back. You have your full arsenal of quote-unquote bigs, Brooke Vetter as well as her sister Meredith. Both kind of combo players. Sometimes you'll see them down low, sometimes you'll see them on the wing. But you add Brooke Vetter into the mix. You see the foul sending Lizzie Davis to the floor. You add Vetter into the mix with Green, Johnson, and Kolb. It allows this Lynchburg team to really play through one of their biggest strengths, and that's their big play. It also allows you to have a nice rotation to where you don't have to play any one of them more than 30 minutes unless you really want to. And also, if you get into a case where fouls become a problem, say in a game against CNU, where Lizzie Davis fouls out and Erin Green to the very end is having to watch her foul count. She finished that game with 4. And you miss someone like Sarah Johnson who can sub in and allow you to basically continue to play your brand of basketball seamlessly if you have to get Erin Green off the court because of foul trouble or whatever the case may be. And on cue, Johnson off the glass and through. Lead back to 20 for Lynchburg. Up to 9 points tonight for Johnson. Collier worked her way all the way to the basket, then tried to pass it out. Turnover created by Lynchburg. Davis lofts it up. Green can't finish. And again, you see the mismatch that Green presents. She runs down the court well. She's long, lanky, works herself into good spots. And sometimes, when all else fails, you throw it top shelf where Mama hides the cookies, and Erin Green's the only one who can get there. And that's what you have happening here. And now Green to the free throw line, and she's also one of the best free throw shooters inside the ODAC, just under 79% from the stripe. Again, adding to how difficult she is to account for if you're an opposing team. Not many bigs who can do as many things at such a high caliber as Erin Green can. 2-for-2 trip for the senior from Poolesville, Maryland. And becomes the largest lead of the night at 22 for Lynchburg. Cross-court swing to Jennings. Step inside the arc, off the backboard and in. 2 more for Nat Collier, excuse me. Second time I've done that. Collier up to 7. Harris gets it to Gant. Then has it dribble off her foot and out of play. So recapping where this game is at and in regards to our players to watch. So Olivia Harris is the leading scorer for Lynchburg in her first collegiate start. Say she's been a huge factor into this one. On the other side for Virginia Wesleyan, we tabbed the Deja Williams as the player to watch for the Marlins as Taylor Gant is fouled. And we'll head to the free throw line. Williams has been quiet tonight. 1 for 3 shooting from the floor. And then 1 rebound, 3 fouls, 2 points. And Williams had been the hot hand of late. Got another look at nice feed from Davis. And the foul that sends Gant to the line. And that also brings us to immediate timeout. So we will step aside and come back with Taylor Gant at the free throw line. You're watching Lynchburg, Virginia Wesleyan on LHSN.
Living the dream. USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. It's the 57th all-time meeting between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan. The score holds to be the 10th win of those 57 for Lynchburg against Virginia Wesleyan. It was a one-sided series history from 2000 to 2016. Noted it earlier in the game. 31 consecutive wins for Virginia Wesleyan to become a more evened matchup. And this year, Lynchburg certainly in the driver's seat, up by 20, 4:48 to go in the third quarter. Marlins coming today last in the ODAC standings. Lynchburg tied for 7th, so it's an opportunity for both teams to try to use this game as propelling point in the season where you climb up the standings and gain some momentum and try to work your way up to the top half of the standings, maybe even host a playoff game once we get to ODAC tournament time. 2-for-2 trip for Taylor Gant. She's now got 4 points on the evening. Celeste Rucker checks back in. as does Amani Felton, checking in for likes of Jessica Jennings and Lena Clements. Rucker swings to the corner. Norman back to Rucker. Off the glass and in. 61-41. Hornets ahead by 20. Gant feeds Johnson. Lynchburg resets, puts the ball into the hands of their maestro of the offense, Lizzie Davis. Shot clock at 5. Davis looking for room against Collier. Clean finish with the left hand. Lizzie Davis up to 8 points tonight. And that goes alongside 7 assists. Meredith Vedder is fouled in transition. And that is the 5th to go against Virginia Wesleyan. So here on out, any foul to go against the Marlins results in 2 free throws for Lynchburg. So Meredith Vedder steps to the stripe. See another look at great finish there from Lizzie Davis. Kate Kolb just subbed in. You see her low block. Getting ready for the Meredith Vedder free throw attempt, her first on the night. Misses off the front of the iron, maybe a bit to the side as well. Vedder, a 50% free throw shooter so far this season. Senior goes 0 for 2, and there's going to be a lane violation called. So another attempt for Vedder. Looks like Jada Norman, the guilty party for Virginia Wesleyan. So Vedder tries once more. He misses. Once again, stays at a 22-point lead for the Hornets. Norman heaves the 3, misses long. Davis finds Kolb. And there's been at least 2 or 3 of those tonight where Davis found an open teammate, and unfortunately the close shot couldn't sink through, which is interesting. You look at Davis with 7 assists tonight. Maybe she gets a little bit more fortunate. She could already be at 10. Virginia Wesleyan in possession now. So both teams we talked about throughout the broadcast on losing streaks. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for both sides. Virginia Wesleyan doesn't get any easier after today. They're at Roanoke this upcoming Saturday, 4:30 tip-off, and then next Wednesday they're back at home taking on the Guilford Quakers. Meanwhile, Lynchburg also in action this weekend at home against Eastern Mennonite. Alumni Day for the men's and women's basketball programs. Hopefully the snow staves off and we can have that doubleheader coming to you on LHSN this Saturday. Loose ball, great hustle from Hannah Clay. And gets in the direction of Harris. After Saturday, it's also a trip to Guilford. That's on Monday. Lynchburg heading down, take on the Quakers. Pick, pop, Kate Kolb has her second 3-ball to fall this season. 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. And Kate Kolb, when you're hot, you're hot. She's got 13, good for second most of any Hornet tonight. Another timeout used, stopping the clock with 2:39 to go. It's a full timeout, but we will keep it here in Lynchburg, Virginia. This is what I noted earlier about Erin Green when she made her 3. Kate Kolb has showcased a couple of times now this season. She can stretch the floor, and if you have players like Kolb and Green able to do that, you pull out your opposing team's big, and it makes it that much easier for players like Lizzie Davis, Olivia Harris, Taylor Gant to get to the cup and score in those positions. Additionally, makes it that much more potent and explosive to be able to play from your bigs, right? Part of the reason you don't see that a whole lot in college basketball or the NBA even is because threes are obviously worth more than twos, and that's just where the game is shifting, where you shoot 33% from beyond the arc. It's the same as shooting 45% from inside it. So therefore, you're seeing more shots from the perimeter. And Lynchburg is content using their bigs. It's one of their biggest strengths as a team. But if you start adding in three-point production from Erin Green, Kate Kolb, this team becomes that much more deadly. And, of course, that's on top of if you play through your bigs, you force the defense to respect your interior offense, and then you kick it back out. You get some open looks for Olivia Harris, Lizzie Davis, Reagan Moore when she checks in, just to name a few names. So Lynchburg looking good, up 25. Certainly in a position to pick up a win against Virginia Wesleyan and snap a 3-game losing streak. Clay lofts forward. Harris gets to it in the far side corner. Now backs it out. Double screen, top of the key. Wide open. Clay. One more pass. Vetter for 3. Off the mark on this occasion. Rebound for Amani Simon. Vetter reads the pass. Tips it out of play. 1:58 to go. A sub will check in. And it's Jessica Jennings subbing in for the Marlins. That'll send Nat Collier to the bench. Pass to the restricted circle. Rucker sends it to the near side corner. Felton steps up. Can't get the mid-range jumper to go. Vetter finds Clay. Then Nicole had nice positioning, working against Rucker. Kolb just couldn't finish. Just the second miss all night long for Kate Kolb. Offensive foul goes against the Marlins. Nice job for Sarah Johnson. Taking a charge has got to be every basketball player's least favorite thing to do on the court. Johnson gets in a position, sets her feet outside the restricted circle, and creates turnover number 15, the Lynchburg defense. Clay down low, Mimi Oliver. First time we've seen her on the court tonight. Vetter to Harris. Harris drives in, met by a couple of defenders, loose ball. Picked up by Felton, who then tries to find Clements, taken away by Clay. Nice hustle play. Oliver to Vetter, scoop, layup. Give her the foul on top. Here it is again. Nice find for Oliver. Even better finish for Vetter. She looks to cap off the three-point play, and she can stretch the lead up to 28. Unable to do so, but still been a really solid night so far for Lynchburg. And there are times in a basketball game where you can't be the better side. As players hit the court, it's called a jump ball. Alternating possession will have the Hornets take over. But to my point, it's not just basketball. It's hard to be the better team for 100% of a game. But you can say Lynchburg's done that so far. Won the first quarter by a 6-point advantage. Won the second by an 8-point margin. And so far in the third, up 19-6. As this game's gone on, you could argue the Hornets have gotten better and better. Hey, after a tough 3-game losing streak against top 5 team in the country in CNU, Elizabethtown, who, after seeing them play, getting the radio call, that's a team that could be knocking on the door of the top 25 in the country. And then also Washington Elite, another tough, physical team. And all three of those teams give you a lot of fits with their defense and playing man-to-man. They play very physical, and they will take away, with high amount of efficiency, your go-to option. And for CNU, they play a press defense where it is just a turnover-creating machine. Lucy Davis had 12 turnovers in that game alone, and she's had some high turnover counts all year long. But that CNU game was the first without Sammy Sever, and you could feel the absence of a ball handler in that game against that tough of a defense. Today, easier task. You're seeing 2-3 zone most of the time. You know how to beat that, and it's really paid dividends. And sometimes you look at these games, and it's easier to beat zone than man more often than not. Unless it's perfectly executed, your Syracuse, and that 2-3 is your bread and butter. And sometimes its simplicity is what makes it so efficient. That said, sometimes it just feels good to pour on a ton of points on the board, be ahead by 26 through 3 quarters, and just gain some confidence for future meetings against tough defenses. Half-court heave, no good for Amani Simon, and that'll bring a close to the third quarter. Hornets up 68-42 after 3. We'll step aside and come back with the final 10 minutes between the Hornets and the Marlins on LHSN. Back for the final 10 minutes of action between the Hornets and the Marlins. Virginia Wesleyan controls to start the final quarter of action. Lena Clements has knocked down a couple of three-point shots today. No good on this shot. Rebound for Mimi Oliver. And all game long, I've talked about the full arsenal of bigs able to play for Lynchburg. Mimi Oliver is not to be forgotten in that group, especially when you had injuries to Sarah Johnson. Mimi Oliver really stepped up and had a role carved out for herself and made the most of it. As pass to the corner results. The first 3 points of the night for Mackenzie Brundage. 1 for 1. Knocks down the three-point shot to make it a 29-point lead. Euro from Clements. Offensive foul. Gant there to take the charge. Gant going to be called for the travel. That'll bring an early close to Lynchburg possession. 29-point advantage for Lynchburg. This would be among their biggest margins of victory all year long. I'll get you that exact figure here in just one moment. Nice feed from Jennings. Williams blocked from behind. Looks like Erin Green, good for her second tonight. And currently the 29-point margin would tie a season best for Lynchburg. They beat Averett, the season opener, 77-48. So a chance today, if they win by 30 or more, put up a new best in that specific category. Jennings called for the foul. And the defensive task of staying in front of Taylor Gant. Third to go against Jennings. Second for the fourth quarter already to go against the Marlins. And if you missed me mention it earlier, head coach Liz Hootie not here tonight. It's Brundage. Knocks down her second three ball. She's up to 6. Lead grows to 32. Clements finds Collier. Pick and pop. Off the hands of Clements. Davis picks it up. Pop from mid-range. Knocks it down. 76-42. Hornets in front. Davis now into double figures with 10. Fourth Hornet to reach double figures. And Davis with those 8 assists, 2 more, and she's got a double-double. Nice finish from Collier. Davis out to Green for 3. Indeed. 9th assist for Davis. Second three-point shot to go for Erin Green. And she now has a Lynchburg best, 16 points tonight. Quietly but steadily all night long, Green has been a factor on the offensive side. And as I said, now leading the way for the Hornets, just edging out Olivia Harris, who has 15. And some more subs. In for the Hornets, Reagan Moore checks in for the first time tonight. And we also get to see the first appearance from number 32, Darcy Ross, freshman from Covington, Virginia. She's the first of 2 screens set for Taylor Gant. Picks up her dribble, and Mimi Oliver going to be fouled by Clements. 4th to go against the sophomore from Emporia, Virginia. And Clements checks out for Jada Norman to check in for her. 6:44 left in regulation. Gant with the honors to inbound on the near sideline. Heavily contested shot. Gant off the mark. Jennings gets more in the air and adds 2 more to her total. Jennings, the game best 19. Those 19 points ties Jennings' career high. She had that total against Christopher Newport in 2019 and then Emery and Henry in 2020. Collier over to Atkinson. Gets the basket and the foul, stopping the clock with 6:01 to go. Atkinson will now step to the free throw line, her first trip to the stripes so far tonight. So assuming the score holds, a win today ends a 3-game losing streak for Lynchburg and puts them back to 500 inside conference play at 3-3, and the win overall improves the record to 7-6, up and over that 500 mark. Meanwhile, loss for Virginia Wesleyan would be number 6 in a row. This is a Virginia Wesleyan team that was 5-7 a year ago, 4-4 in conference play, 6-20 in the first year for Liz Hootie 2 years back. Still looking for their identity. I don't think I finished my note earlier, but Coach Hootie not here tonight. Previously was a head coach at Averett, which bears a connection to acting head coach tonight. Christine Mabry was a grad assistant for the Cougars before she came to Virginia Wesleyan. Take another look at the foul. It goes against Deja Williams, and Kate Kolb steps to the free throw line. It's already the 4th to go against the Marlins. Next whistle to go against Virginia Wesleyan will send Lynchburg to the line for 2. Kate Kolb, 13 points tonight. This becomes her first trip to the charity line. First shot up and through. Kolb, a senior from Morris Plains, New Jersey. Up to 14 points tonight. That ties a season high. She had that total against Christopher Newport and Elizabethtown. And the second free throw sat on the rim for a moment, falls off. Kolb still a point away from setting a new career high, or at least season high. Foul on the other end of the court. Second to go against Lynchburg. And 15 points would also tie a career best for Kate Kolb. So we're record watching throughout the next 5.5 minutes of play. Atkinson over to Norman. Shot no good. Long rebound. Picked up by Taylor Gant. Lost it for a moment, then regathers. And it's been a good night for Lynchburg to empty the bench and give different players some run tonight. All 12 that are healthy and suited up tonight have touched the court. And all but 4 have reached the scoring column, the exceptions being Reagan Moore, Hannah Clay, Darcy Ross, and Mimi Oliver. Still plenty of time left in this game for that to change. Counter that, it's been 10 players deep so far for the Marlins. Collier for 3. No good. A couple players hit the deck. And the foul on the play goes against Dandridge. And unfortunately for Lynchburg, Kate Kolb coming up a little gimpy, favoring that right ankle as she's trying to walk down the length of the court. There was the foul once again. Kolb head to the free throw line, but with 4:32 to go, this will send us to our under 5-minute media timeout. We'll step aside and come back with the final stanza between the Hornets and the Marlins on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret. And it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
Four minutes and 32 seconds, all it stands between Lynchburg and their 7th win on the season, and moving to 500 inside conference play at 3-3, and would, as this is the only game in ODAC play, would move Lynchburg into sole possession of 7th place inside the conference standings. Meanwhile, assuming the score holds, Marlins will drop their 6th consecutive game. They'll be on the road this Saturday at Roanoke to take on the Maroons. Out of the timeout, Kate Cole seems to be okay. Heads to the free throw line. Misses on the first attempt. She's a point away from tying a career high and setting a new season high. Second attempt. Up and nothing but nylon. Make it 81-49. 32-point advantage. This would be the largest margin of victory all year long for Lynchburg. Great way to get back on track after a competitive loss against CNU back on the 29th of December. And that was a game, in case you maybe didn't listen to the radio broadcast or didn't see anything afterwards, that was just the second game to that point in the year where CNU played a contest decided by less than 15. First was in a win against Gettysburg, a top 25 team in the country, 3-point differential between the captains and Gettysburg. That contest, and then 69-60, the final score, CNU got the best of Lynchburg. But you can tell the captains after that game were a little flustered with themselves, how close it was, and Lynchburg showed a ton of fight. And it was the first game played down semi-severed. Didn't have Sarah Johnson in that game, so Lynchburg really showed a ton of fight. And then the next day out against Elizabethtown, another awesome game to watch, 79-76 final score. And Lynchburg didn't have a lead once against CNU and didn't have one the first 3 quarters against Elizabethtown. But then, less than a minute into the fourth quarter, Olivia Harris tied the game up with a layup, and as Meredith Fetter put Lynchburg ahead. 7 minutes to go. Lead even grew up as much as 2 possessions wide. But ultimately, late game heroics from Kylie Wilson went on a 9-2 run. The 2 points supplied by Lizzie Davis, I should say. All 9 points coming from Kylie Wilson on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 straight threes. First to make it a 1-point game, then you had the make from Lizzie Davis as the mid-range J is knocked down by Dandridge. Then after the 2 from Davis in that game, the next 3 from Wilson tied it up. Next possession out, knocked down the 3. And it went from far side wing, top of the key, near side wing. It was almost like playing a game of horse. And Wilson moved the Blue Jays out in front, and it was a heartbreaking loss for Lynchburg. But it really goes to what I'm trying to convey. This Lynchburg team really has no shortage of fight. And no matter what the circumstance is, down X amount of starters or fall behind by a certain amount to start the game, you name the situation, the Hornets are not going to give up in that game, and that is a testament to first-year head coach Allison Nichols and the players on this roster. And as this team starts to get healthy, figures out how to play without Sammy Sever, and the rotation becomes more refined, and players just get better naturally, progressing throughout the season. That on top of heart makes the team dangerous in any game. Moore has it poked away. It's going to stay with the Hornets with just under 3 minutes to go in regulation. Amy Oliver will check in for Taylor Gant. That moves Hannah Clay in the spot to be the inbounder underneath the basket. Sent it to Moore. Layup and the foul. Moore becomes the 10th player for Lynchburg to reach the scoring column. And stopping, you've seen this before. Inbound to the restricted circle. Tried and true for Lynchburg all night long. Moore induces a potential lane violation. Now the whistle is blown. So Moore gets another chance to make good and complete the 3-point play. This becomes the first official free throw attempt of the year for Moore. Unable to convert. Nonetheless, 34-point advantage, Words can be difficult. Lynchburg well out in front, 85-51. Foul against the Hornets. 4th to go against Lynchburg here in the 4th. Monty Simon will inbound from underneath the cup. Celeste Rucker is back in for Virginia Wesleyan. Felton, nice spin move, but couldn't convert on the layup. Offensive foul. Clock stops with 2:30 left to play. I noted this earlier on in the broadcast, but trend continues here in the fourth. Hornets ahead 17-9 so far in the final quarter of play, but from start to finish, it's been a really solid showing from the Hornets. And the reason I mention that is sometimes you'll have games where take a win earlier this year for Lynchburg, coming at a game against, if memory serves, it was NC Wesleyan on the road. Could be wrong on that specific game. I'll have to try to find the exact box score. But there was a game earlier this year where Lynchburg was outscored in 3 of the 4 quarters, but won 1 quarter. That proved to be the difference. And obviously, that's a little nerve-wracking to do if you're Coach Allison Nichols. But consistently playing your brand of basketball and taking care of business, that is something that has to be admired. That's what Lynchburg's done today. Start to finish, there hasn't really been any sort of question about who the better team has been. Standridge knocks down her first free throw attempt, bringing it down to a 30-point differential. Here's the foul. Went against Brundage. Second attempt, no good. .100 seconds left to be played. Clay knocks down the three-point shot. All that's left is Mimi Oliver. All other 11 players have scored tonight for Lynchburg, and I would assume of the next possession or two, you'll see Lynchburg try to get it in to the senior from Springfield, Virginia. Oliver off the glass, no good on the first attempt. Lays out, trying to get the offensive rebound, and does just that, getting it out to Brundage. 1 minute to go. Whistle stops the clock with 58 seconds to play. Inbound coming from Regan Moore on the far sideline. Oliver dishes it off to Ross. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Ross to Clay. To Oliver, hoists it up and misses the rim. Shot clock violation. Turnover number 15 tonight for Lynchburg. A marginal improvement based off their season average. About a 14-second differential between shot and game clock. Shot well off the mark, coming from Norman. Brundage to the near side corner. To Ross, turnaround. Jumper sinks through, 90-55. Lynchburg in front. Final buzzer sounds. 90-55, your final score. The Hornets set a new season best for margin of victory as well as points in a game. Very dominant showing for the Hornets. They end a 3-game losing streak, improved to 7-6 on the season and 3-3 in ODAC play. On the other side, Virginia Wesleyan has their 6th consecutive loss and are now 3-13 on the season, 0-9 inside conference play, and are still winless on the road this season. Fun game to watch. Hopefully you all enjoyed as well. Here are some final thoughts for the Marlins. Got some good play out of Jessica Jennings, and some solid three-point shooting performances as a team overall in the night. And maybe that's one of the areas of strength to try to build towards in the future. Shot over 41% in the first half. Finished the game as a 33.3% shooting mark from beyond the arc. Still not a bad clip for tonight's game. And Virginia Wesleyan will be on the road at Roanoke this Saturday, then back at home next Wednesday to host Guilford. For Lynchburg, got back on track after 3 games against quality opponents and 3 teams with really stout defenses. So opportunity for the Hornets to garner some more confidence on the offensive side. And like I said, season high, 90 points. I'd say they did just that. And you had great teams showing all the way across the board. Every player but Mimi Oliver that touched the court scored. All 12 who could suit up did just that. 4 players in double figures. Sarah Johnson then had 9, just barely missed that mark. Leading the way was Aaron Green with 16. Olivia Harris then had 15, tying her with Kate Kolb. 15 for Kolb, tied for a career best. And it was Lizzie Davis with 10 points and 9 assists, just short of that double-double. Lynchburg will be back in action this Saturday, the first of 2 games, or excuse me, the second of 2 games against Eastern Mennonite in a men's and women's basketball doubleheader here from Wayne Prophet Court. But that's going to do it for us inside Turner Gymnasium. Once again, final score 90-55. Hornets top the Marlins. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My name's TJ Winger. For my director, Sam Rice, the rest of our fantastic LHSN broadcast crew. Until next time, we are signing off.